Hello everybody and welcome to the January-February update. So, as most of you may know, I went to London last month and had something like a break from the intensive editing and everything that I've been doing the last months, and promised some epiphanies, and I have them to deliver. So, first things first, I really want to remind everybody, because whilst I say we, because this project is we, for the help and support that I get both in terms of volunteer work and keeping the project running, whilst I say we, language transfer is just me. The reason I want you to know that is so that you can understand the amount of work involved. Not for my ego, I don't care about that, otherwise I'd have I all over the website, but I really need people to understand the amount of work there is, even just answering mails and keeping up with the website and all of that side of it, even before I get to make any courses. So there's a huge amount of work involved, and it's been too much. It's too much. This I knew it already, but I really had the chance to accept it and admit it to myself in London. I mean, to be honest, on a personal level, I haven't had time to eat properly, to clean my house, to do anything. It's just been, since I've got this base, crazy trying to get all of this work that's been promised for so long done as soon as possible. And I'm still kind of in that phase. There's still a lot to do. I still have to finish recording Swahili. I need to get the rest of the Greek audios edited out, finish complete German, and then do introduction to French. So whilst I'm still going to be working more than maybe what I would like to get this out, I've also decided that I want to be able to focus on one audio course at a time from English. So that's what I will do after I get this bulk of stuff out the way, and also have more time to focus on the publications, which is a really important side, especially that the Thinking Method publication has won the voting now to be the first major publication project. That's a really important side of the project. If it's going to be more than just me, if there's going to be other people course writing, then that publication is really important. So we crossed the $800 mark on the Patreon campaign. The Thinking Method won the voting, and then we've fallen right back under the $800 mark again. So we do need to cross that for me to work on the publications as well. So please join the campaign. The campaign is going really well. We got a lot of new pledges last month, just that we lost a couple of big ones, which has dropped the overall amount. But in terms of more people supporting, then it was a great month. A lot more people have joined, and the small pledges of $1, $2, these are the really important ones, because this keep the security, let's say, the sustainable income, because when many people are pledging $1, it's much safer than when you have half of the amount coming in every month by big pledges, which if they go, the amount can drop down. So please help get us above the $800 mark again, so that we can start working on the publications. And other than the voted publication, that big publication, the Thinking Method book, we'll also be able to focus on one smaller publication, which looks like it will be the Greek translated lyrics album, because that looks like it's going to get 10 songs confirmed soon. You can check that out on the website about that, more about that under the courses publication project tab. And so we'll also be able to get to work on that as well. So let's cross this $800 mark. $800 mark. There's something very excited. There's something I'm really excited about sharing, which is why I'm stuttering a lot, because I want to get this stuff out of the way. So I guess the major epiphany, let's say, about the project that I had in London was that my brain has turned into this kind of mashed potato machine for languages. You're putting the Swahili in, it's being broken up and put back together to build a course. But me in that process, whilst I find it really fascinating to dissect the language, it's not like I'm getting to practice the language or talk it. I just really don't have time. I have native speakers to ask if everything is correct, my ideas about how the language works, but I don't really have any time to practice it. And that needs to change for me. It's really important that this project feeds into my growth as well. That's a principal idea behind the project for me as well. And if I just continue dissecting more and more languages, okay, it's going to do that, but not as much as what I feel it needs to. So I want to really increase the side of the project which is about which is about courses in other languages. So, you know, we have the English for Spanish speakers, the Inglés para hispanohablantes, and that's the only course we have that's not in English. And I want to increase that side of it somehow, so that, you know, this method can reach more people and not just going from English, and help teach more people around the world English. As we know, foreign language learning is an empowering experience, and I don't want to just empower English speakers, you know. I want to empower non-English speakers to learn English and other languages as well. So, from now on, with the voting campaign, if you vote for English for Spanish speakers, for example, your votes are doubled. If you vote for English for Greek speakers, your votes are doubled. Any language now that's going to be taught in another language is going to get their vote automatically doubled. But as you will see on the voting tab in the little section of rules and whatever, we can't make, for example, English for Turkish speakers until complete Turkish is done. So, you know, first complete Turkish needs to come out, and then we can make English for Turkish speakers. This is logical, of course, because I need to know the ins and outs of Turkish before I start thinking about how to teach English to a Turkish speaker. So that's a new idea, to try to kind of jazz up the project in that sense, get more people involved internationally, get more non-English speakers involved, and also this kind of avoids the risk that the project becomes kind of elitist and just for language learners, as opposed to something that's really, you know, there and practical to help people in their lives. So of course I'm especially interested for Arabic, for complete Arabic to get done, and then English for Arabic speakers, German for Arabic speakers, these kind of courses which will be especially relevant at the moment with the crises that are in the world and the refugee waves that are a symptom of these crises. And also with your crazy president that you have in the US, really I didn't say anything about it until now, because I really just assumed the guy would like have a team that would run the country or something. He wouldn't do anything. But no, really, it seems he's really quite enthusiastic about being an ignorant, prejudiced, racist old man. So, you know, I think also in the current climate, whilst it's super important for English speakers to be able to acquire other languages, it's also important to empower people that are coming from other languages to get proficient in host languages, so like English and German and French, you know, languages of the countries that people are moving to get proficient quickly and be able to share themselves and their story as soon as possible. So that's the biggest news, that I really want to focus on that side of things. This is important also for, like I say, my personal development, which the project needs to feed into necessarily, to have an opportunity to get proficient in all of these languages that I'm teaching as well, and teaching in them will be a great way to do that. And from this can spur other activism. So, you know, language transfer is a project, but it's really not all I have to give. I really feel that, you know, I've done many other things in the past. I feel like I've got a lot more to do, and I want to do a lot in the mark of language transfer. That might be a bad translation from Spanish. In the realm, let's say, of language transfer, from, you know, a documentary on language consciousness, which for me is super important, to increase people's consciousness of language and what it is and what it's doing, to the courses, you know. But also I feel like I've got other stuff to give, which is also why I don't want to just become this language course machine. And, you know, getting proficient in the other languages is also going to open a lot of doors for whatever it is also that, you know, that I can give in different languages through contact with people in different languages. You know, it's just going to open a lot of doors. So that's the news. And another little bit of news. We got rated in the top 10 resources by homeschooling families, by apparently the biggest homeschooling base in the US. I think it's called Homeschooling Base or Homeschool Base, the website. That was nice, so that's cool. It was very nice to hear that, because we were voted for by homeschooling families, so it's really nice to know that homeschooling families in the US are using language transfer. And yeah, that's all. Please join the Patreon campaign, patreon.com/, patreon.com/language transfer for as little as $1 a month to get us over this $800 milestone, so that, you know, publications and all their courses are a fixed part of the work. And remember, now you get double votes, either through the Patreon campaign or through making occasional donations. Now you get double votes if you vote for a course that's not taught in English. But remember, of course, the only options at the moment for that can be, you know, taught in German, taught in Greek, taught in Spanish, or taught in Swahili. Those are the 4 complete courses we have. Even though they're not all finished, those are the 4 complete courses we have. Thank you for your continued support. Thank you for being cool enough that I can just, you know, come and say everything that's on my mind about the project and all, and I feel supported and accompanied by you, and I don't have to be formal or pretend to be formal. And that's all, I think, in the terms of news. Bye bye.